Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you are watching the latest news of the day. Latest comments by Dr. S. Jaishankar that, the West is not the bad guy. Now, by training, because India happens to be, even in its constitution, by constitution, India happens to be a socialist country. And we have been very influenced by the Russians and the Russian way of thinking, the left way of thinking. That is how it happened after India's independence. And so, the West was always the bad guy. And we can't be blamed for thinking that the West is the bad guy, because that is how we have always perceived the West, and that is how the West has come across to the rest of the world. This entire colonial experience, is something crafted by the West. India has had the Dutch military or the Dutch trading fleets here. It's had the East India Company. It's had the French. It's had the Portuguese. Goa was a Portuguese colony. So a lot of good and bad European influence. However, overall it was highly discriminatory, and it was something that caused famine. And when I say good, I mean, yes, they did build infrastructure in India, but they built it for their own use. They did not build it for the natives. That the natives used it is a separate case altogether. And you don't need to get colonized, to get a train in your country. I mean, that should happen even without colonization. So this is what the European powers did. And obviously in India, there has been a suspicion of these Western countries, plus the Russian influence that I spoke about. But Dr. Jaishankar says that it needn't be that West is always the bad guy. And above all, he says that at least the West does not dump cheap goods in your market. Economies can capsize because of cheap goods, ultra cheap goods in your market. And this is exactly what China does. Dr. Jaishankar did not take China's name, but he was very, very clear when he said that at least the West does not dump cheap goods in your marketplaces. Stinging slap on China's face. The next news, ladies and gentlemen, that I have from you, funny news from Pakistan. Nawaz Sharif sitting in a car, his driver is sitting here. This is not a joke. This really happened. Nawaz Sharif sitting here, his driver sitting here. A woman knocks on the window, knock, knock. The driver opens the window opens. She says, "You're Nawaz Sharif, you're the former Prime Minister of Pakistan." And Nawaz Sharif is smiling expectantly. And then suddenly this lady says that you're a corrupt guy. And when I saw this video, there was total disbelief on my face. Please see this video.
Pakistani politician. Hi. I'm okay, but I've heard you're a very corrupt Pakistani politician. I work in financial crime prevention, that's why I know.
Now, do you see this? The driver actually spat on this woman's face. This is typical Pakistani training, And I don't blame the driver. I blame Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif could have, coached his driver better. He must have been told. The woman was wrong. You don't accost random strangers on the road and start saying stuff like that to them. And the driver should have been coached as well. So I think it's both ways. Both parties are at fault. Apart from that, we have this news about the Indian Navy planning to be a 175 ship force by 2035, which means in the next 12 years, the Indian Navy is going to add on 68 more ships. Yes, 68 more ships, which includes corvettes, destroyers, submarines, the odd aircraft carrier, and surveillance boats, supply boats, etc. So 68. And the best part is all those 68 boats or ships or warships are being made in India by Indians. So there would be a little import of technology, of course, that happens, but they are all being manufactured in India. Not just assembled, manufactured in India. And that is a big deal. 68 new ships being manufactured as we speak. So I think this is something really great, and 175 ship navy is a bona fide blue water navy. And that is where India is heading. My only comment here is that I think we need a larger aircraft carrier. 40,000 tons doesn't cut it, because an aircraft carrier is not just a naval ship. It is a nation's projection of military power. It's really a big deal, actually, an aircraft carrier. So 40,000 tons, I don't know how many aircraft, 29, 30, whatever. But if you had something like 100,000 tons displacement aircraft carrier, which is what the Americans have, if you had something like that, that would have something like 90 plus aircraft of all kinds, of floating city. That would project India's power much better. Just a thought from my side. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, press the like button. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Till then, take care. Jai Hind.